Hi, and welcome to this ForNAV coffee break. My name is René Brummel. I'm a product specialist at ForNAV, and I will be your presenter today. As this coffee break is live, you can ask your questions via the GoToWebinar question window. We will answer them at the end of the coffee break. Today, we're going to move sections and data items in your Business Central reports. There's a hidden gem inside the ForNAV designer that will make report design a lot easier. I feel we've been remiss in keeping it from you. It is the Report Explorer that I'm talking about. It will help you in many tasks, easy selection of controls and accessing their properties, and moving them about in your report. To demonstrate moving sections and data items, I'm going to use these steps. Prerequisites, what do I need to get going? In step 2, I will move sections around in my report. In step 3, I will move tables and cells. In step 4, I will move data items to the right place. Let's start with the first step. Today, I will move sections and data items in the Business Central on-premise environment with the Business Central 2022 Wave 1 release. I've installed the ForNAV customizable report pack, and I've executed the step-by-step wizard from the assisted setup to get started. Of course, everything I do today is also available on the Business Central Cloud environment. I also have the ForNAV Designer installed on my PC. The ForNAV Designer can be downloaded from the ForNAV website. The first thing we will do is move some sections around. First, we will add some sections to our report, and then we will use the Report Explorer to place them in the right place. So, let's open a report from Business Central, and I'm just going to play around with the sales template today, which I will open in the ForNAV Designer. And in the ForNAV Designer, right up here is the Report Explorer, which we haven't really explained yet in the coffee breaks. So let's do that today. Inside the Report Explorer, basically you will see a structure of everything you have in the report. So I have a header data item with a bunch of stuff underneath it, like a document header, which has a bunch of fields, etc. So if I add a new section in my report, so I'm just going to add a new header section, and let's grab another one right there. You will notice inside the Report Explorer that I've got two more sections. And if you want to change the order of these specific sections, you can move them about, because if you right click them, you can access properties and you can say move up and you can say move down. But you can also grab one of these and simply drag it to below our document header, for instance, which places it underneath header 1. So that's one thing you can do with these headers. The second thing is that this specific header is now, this specific header section is underneath my header data item. If I want it underneath the line data item, I can do that as well, because I can simply drop it on top of the line data item, and then I've got a second header section on my line and just move it above, and now I've got two header sections on my line. I can do the same thing obviously with all the other section types. So if I'm going to add a body section right here inside the lines, I've got my body section here, which I can move up to above the lines body as well. Now the trick about these sections inside ForNAV is that they have a very specific order in which they are printed and displayed. That means that I cannot place a body section above, say, a header section. It just doesn't work. Not with the move up either. I can't move it any further than above the last lines body. Same with the trans footer. I can't move it up and I can't move it down. So you can only place sections, you can only reorder sections within the same specific section type. Now we've played around with moving some sections, we also want to move around some tables and cells. If you've been watching these coffee breaks, you will have noticed that we use a lot of tables inside the ForNAV Designer. Most notably, we have these tables inside. Let me remove some stuff that I don't need anymore. We have tables inside our line sections. where we have a table for the headers and the trans headers and the body. So if I want to move stuff around inside my table, you will notice as soon as I select something inside the report layout, it will also automatically select in the Report Explorer. Now, say I want to move the quantity above the description, I can simply drag it above the description and the quantity moves. And I can do the same thing in the second table, and I can do the same thing in the third table. And within seconds I've moved my tables around, so the quantity is now before description. So that's nice, that's awesome. I can also grab one of these tables, and I may want to move it into a different section. Let's say I want to move it inside my inside the header on my header data item. I can simply grab my lines table and drag it up and find my header 1 and drop it, and right now I've got my table inside header 1. And of course, if you just mean to copy it, you can copy it and paste it to where else you want to go. Finally, we can move data items inside our reports as well. We can move them to a different parent data item, or we can change the order of our data items. So back to the ForNAV designer. And as you know, you can simply add a data item inside your report. And on this data item, let's see if we can grab a nice table. Let's use the sales comment lines. I'm not going to bother with setting a data item link. Obviously the data item won't work, but this is for moving and dragging about purposes, so we're not going to display any data today. So right now I've got my new data item inside my report, and you will notice it gets placed inside my line data item. And this data item, once again, there's a very specific order that these sections and items are processed inside ForNAV. I cannot move a data item above a body section, a trans header or a lines header. I cannot move it below any footers inside my report. So these data items are always below the body section of my parent data item. Of course, I can move it to below a different data item, because I can simply grab it right here. If I move up into my report, I can drop it on top of the header, and now my data item, my sales comment line, will be not above the line, but it will be placed underneath the header data item. So that's great. Now the header data item has a bunch of data items underneath it, because we've got the header has a line, it's got a VAT amount line, a VAT clause, and now a sales comment line. I may want to change the order of these specific data items, and I can't do that by dragging and dropping, because that will end up placing the sales comment lines, for instance, under the VAT amount line. But of course I can right click and move up and move up and move up, and there change the order of my data item inside my ForNAV report. So let's recap what we just did. The first thing we did was to add some sections and move them around. We noticed we could set the order of the sections of the same type, but we can't move sections above or below sections of a different type. The second thing we did was to move tables and cells. We noticed that we can change the order of the cells in a table, and we can move tables to a different section. Finally, we've added some data items and moved these around as well. And please be aware that if you are editing a report custom layout, like I am just now, you cannot move any of the built-in data items. So if I just move back to the ForNAV designer for a second, we have these built-in data items, the header and the line, and I can't move these around inside the report because they are hard-coded inside the report source object. If you want to move them, you need to open the report's source AL file, and you can move your data items then. Thank you for listening to me so far. I will just quickly check if we have any questions, and we don't, so I will proceed with wrapping up this coffee break. If you want to know more about ForNAV, or if you want to download the ForNAV Designer and Converter, please visit our website. If you want to install ForNAV in Business Central Cloud, please visit Microsoft App Source. You can watch more videos about ForNAV on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions about ForNAV, please email them to support@fornav.com. For the full list of upcoming and recorded coffee breaks, please visit fornav.com/coffeebreak. Thank you very much for listening to me today, and goodbye.